Coming up tonight on YCN News, a bill working its way through Vermont legislature could change how the state oversees its school districts. The New Hampshire's Attorney General's office seeks the public's help in finding a person of interest in a home explosion that killed 2 people on Monday. And we'll learn how the Brazilian chocolates of My Brigadeiro are gaining fame nationwide. For more news, weather, and sports, it's time for YCN, your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region, southern Vermont, and Windsor County. News, sports, weather, and all that is happening in our area. The news on YCN, your local view.
Good evening, and welcome to this Wednesday edition of YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. Public education in Vermont could look very different by the year 2020. A bill working its way through the Vermont legislature could change how the state oversees its school districts while expanding pre-kindergarten through grade 12 districts. House Bill 883, introduced by the legislature's Committee on Education, also is winning the favor of the state's executive branch. State Board of Education Chair Stefan Morse calls the proposed HB 883 one of the most important bills now under review in the legislature. Morse says in a statement that Vermont leaders must provide learning opportunities to all children statewide. This is an essential change to how Vermont oversees its school districts. Per the bill's text, supervisory unions, as Vermonters now know them, will cease to exist by 2020. Current school districts across the state would be realigned into expanded pre-kindergarten through grade 12 districts. These expanded districts would be responsible for the education of all early education through senior year of high school. The bill has a long way to go until it becomes law. Some existing school supervisory unions could voluntarily join an expanded district. School performance, cost, and geographic location are factors into how an expanded unit would be formed. Final approval of the statewide plan would be done by July 1, 2018. Details of House Bill 883 can be found at www.leg.state.vt.us. Use the pull-down menus on the website to learn more about HB 883 filed this year. Now that New Hampshire is joining the list of states that are expanding Medicaid for eligible residents, U.S. Senator Jeanne Shaheen is calling on Health and Human Services Secretary Kathleen Sebelius to approve federal dollars that will allow New Hampshire to follow through with Medicaid expansion. Shaheen's request comes after Tuesday's historic bipartisan vote in the New Hampshire House to expand Medicaid. The vote on State Senate Bill 413 passed 202 to 132. In a letter Shaheen wrote to Sebelius, Shaheen says many of the New Hampshire residents who will benefit from Medicaid expansion do not have other insurance options. Governor Maggie Hassan is expected to sign SB 413 into law this week. When Hassan does, federal Medicaid funds will be directed to provide health insurance coverage for adults earning less than 138% of the federal poverty limit. For example, a single adult earning about $15,586 would qualify. Passage of SB 413 makes New Hampshire the 26th state to expand Medicaid to eligible residents. Medicaid expansion is part of the nation's new medical insurance law. When YCN News returns, we'll continue with more news.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
The good folks at H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating Oils want you to know that their philosophy is simple. Wow 'em with our service. Their experts provide complete heating systems, air conditioning, and hot water heater installations at a fair price. They're specialists in radiant in-floor and hydro air systems. Building a new home or just replacing an old system, call for an estimate.
Wow 'em with service. It's the H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating Oils way of doing business.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. The New Hampshire Attorney General's office is asking the public's help in finding a person of interest in a home explosion that killed 2 people Monday. The victims, a man and woman, have not been identified, yet their remains were discovered in the wreckage of a fire deemed suspicious. The fire occurred at 210 Mooresville Road in Manchester, New Hampshire. The 33-year-old man wanted for questioning is Matthew Dion, who lived at the home. Police released photos of Dion and the white Nissan Altima he is believed to be driving. The car's New Hampshire license plate is 3410587. Anyone with information regarding Dion's whereabouts or the Altima is asked to call 911 or Manchester Police at 603-668-8711. Vernon residents will meet again for town meeting in May. The special town meeting is set for 6 p.m. Monday, May 5th in the elementary school gym. Voters will reconsider the town's fiscal year operating budget for 2015. Funding for positions cut by voters during the regular March 4th meeting also will be considered, including town police and auditors. On Tuesday, May 13th, voters will reconsider the 2014-15 school budget, which failed by 8 votes, the Brattleboro Reformer reports. Since this year's unusual 3-day town meeting, school board members have cut the proposed budget by $70,000. Worry over the town's economic future with the December 2014 closure of its largest employer and taxpayer, Vermont Yankee, is causing voters to hold back on approving spending plans. We are ending today's newscast on a sweet note, a Brazilian-inspired sweet note. YCN's John O'Connor sat down recently with My Brigadeiro owner, Ana Paula Alexandrescu. Ana explains how these chocolate bonbons, where the name Brigadeiro comes from, are becoming a popular habit nationwide.
Hi, I'm with Paula Alexandrescu from My Brigadeiro. And did I pronounce that your store's name correctly?
Yes, you did. Mm-hmm.
So these are phenomenal chocolates.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tell us the history of them.
So this is originally from Brazil. And what I did is I got the concept of the basic chocolate and I developed 36 flavors of organic chocolates. They're all handcrafted organic. There's no wax or preservatives. And we ship to all 50 states. We started a year and a half ago. And since then, it's just been amazing.
So it's just a little cottage business that started in
Norwich, Vermont.
Yes. And you're shipping all across the country?
All across the country. And a lot of it, I have to say, it's thankful to the word of mouth. I mean, everybody that loves this chocolate makes sure to spread the word.
So wait, how did you decide to do this Brazilian-styled chocolate?
So what happened is I always made those chocolates for my kids and their birthday parties. And 2 years ago, we moved back to the area, and one of my daughter was having a surgery, scoliosis surgery, and I was kind of distressed. And my best friend, Gail Vernaza, as I was making this for my kids' birthday party, she said, you know, you should really think about making those chocolates for sale. And I said, oh, I don't think so. This is so traditional Brazilian. She goes, no, really, they're really, really good. So we started this a year and a half ago, and I start with 4 flavors and 36 flavors and adding. It's just been phenomenal.
So what were the first 4 flavors?
So the first 4 flavors are the ones that you have here, which is the Wicked Hot. We created that for the Montshire Museum of Science last year for their party. Then we have the Toasted Coconut Cappuccino and Noir, which is our #1 bestseller, is the Noir. The dark chocolate.
So it's just a dark chocolate?
Dark chocolate, yes.
And it must have some health properties too.
They are only 50 calories for chocolate, so you know, if you're watching what you're eating, you're better off eating 1 chocolate than having a whole piece of pie. You don't have to worry about that.
So how many? So 36 flavors.
36 flavors and counting.
And so what's the most exotic flavor you offer now?
The most exotic flavor, I have to say, is the Wicked Hot. Because it's a spicy chocolate, and just the name, you know, we call Wicked Hot to celebrate the area where we live. And it's a phenomenal chocolate because it's spicy, but in the same time, the dark chocolate just covers up the heat right away. So it's a very good seller.
And what are the other flavors that are popular?
The popular flavors are cappuccino. Everybody loves the cappuccino. The Noir, it's our #1 bestseller, of course. And the Toasted Coconut seems to be the flavor among like older generation. They love the Toasted Coconut.
Now, have you tried a flavor that didn't work?
Oh, many times.
So
in the beginning, when I started making this chocolate, I think I mixed almost like 30 kinds of chocolate until I found the perfect chocolate to create the base chocolate. So we have 4 base chocolates, which is the dark, the milk, and the white, actually 3 base chocolates. And from that, we create all the other 36 flavors.
And how long does it take to make a batch of these chocolates?
25 minutes, a small batch, 25 minutes. And then, from the time of cooking to the rolling process, I would say an average of 35 minutes, it's all set.
And we're just got about 30 seconds left, but if I wanted to buy these, I could find you online.
You can find me online.
And
we have a beautiful website.
Can I find you locally?
You can find me locally. We are available at the co-ops here in the Upper Valley. We're also available at the Chocolate Shop in Hanover, Denowitz in Norwich, Woodstock Farmers Market, and on.
Well, and I'll tell you what, they're great chocolates, so if you're out there listening, you should get some.
Thanks, Anna and John. Chocolate always lifts one's spirits.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
The Renaissance Shop, located in the Lake Sunapee Region V&A building on Newport Road in New London, brings back to life high-quality items for every taste and budget. The Renaissance Shop is always seeking donations to keep the inventory varied and give you a reason to come back again and again. Donations are tax deductible and proceeds bring new life to the vital services of our V&A. The Renaissance Shop, new beginnings to more than you can imagine.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. Now Matt McDonald will have a look at our weather for the next 5 days, and he'll take a look at some local college sports.
Thanks, Rose. Looks like we have a rainy weekend ahead, so enjoy the sun tomorrow. There will be highs in the upper 30s with a low of 28 degrees. Friday, the rain will begin with temperatures rising to a high of 45 and lows in the 30s. Saturday will have highs in the 40s with a low of 32 degrees. Sunday and Monday will have highs between 40 and 43 degrees with lows in the 20s and 30s. And now let's look at the northeastern and national radar maps. Now let's look at our community calendar. Tomorrow night, Canaan, New Hampshire is holding its planning board meeting at 7 p.m. On Friday, the Cornish, New Hampshire Board of Selectmen is meeting at 3 p.m. Friday night, the Sunapee Methodist Church is holding an open mic coffee house at 7 p.m. In Alstead, New Hampshire, the Mole Hill Theater will be holding karaoke at 8 p.m. Friday night. Remember, you can submit local events from your community by sending them to news@ycnnow.com. And now let's take a look at college sports. The University of Vermont's women's lacrosse team will face off with Dartmouth College today in Burlington, Vermont. I'll bring you the results of that game right here at the same time tomorrow. Colby Sawyer yet had another unexpected delay in their women's lacrosse game. The Chargers vs. Keene State game has been postponed to Thursday at 4 p.m. because of cold temperatures. And now let's look at the results from a New England College men's lacrosse game. NEC faced the University of Maine Farmington Tuesday afternoon. NEC accomplished an outstanding win with 28 points to Maine's 3 points. This was due to the NEC Pilgrims team collaboration. Pilgrims player Skylar Saunders scored 2 goals as well as 7 assists for his team. The Pilgrims improved their record to 6 wins and 1 loss overall. NEC will go on to host Norwich University on Thursday. YCN will follow this game as well.